All right, my guest is now on the air right now. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it.
Of course.
So I've been a fan of yours for quite a while, and I first heard of you through a company called Lucha Girls with Jezebel Romo. Um,
Yep.
so and she's she's done a good job with that company and bringing in talent like yourself, local talent, and some well-known talent as well. And we'll get into that in just a moment. But you got the lucha libre style, which I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of the lucha libre. Some people are familiar with lucha libre. Some people are not. So if you don't mind, please explain like how would you best describe the lucha libre style?
Sure. So lucha libre is just a little bit different from American wrestling, and in fact, American wrestling has adopted a lot of things from lucha libre nowadays. So it's not very different at all anymore. But you will usually see luchadors doing a lot more high-flying, very cool athletic maneuvers. They have a different system of tag team matches. They do it lucha style, where instead of having to tag out, when someone's out of the ring, that's the same thing. And also, some of the moves work from a different side than American style wrestling. So not a whole lot of differences anymore.
So I first became a fan of lucha libre back in the WCW days with the cruiserweight division. Like I
hmm
watched Rey Mysterio, Ultimo Dragon, Juventud Guerrera.
hmm
The list goes on and on. Like that was such an incredible division, giving it their all every night, and they usually have the best matches of the night of any show that they do, in my opinion, anyway.
hmm
And there's this thing that a lot of wrestlers do have, and that's wearing the mask. You wear a mask, obviously, and there's a tradition behind it. There's some history behind the mask. If talk about going the route of, being a masked wrestler, and um, did you have any rough start getting into wearing a mask in your matches? Like, what was the whole transition like?
It was definitely difficult. There's actually a lot of pushback to a woman wearing a mask in Los Angeles. This wouldn't have been an issue if I'd been doing it, in Mexico. They have the established tradition that you have some luchas and some luchadoras who wear masks and carry on that mask tradition of keeping your wrestling life and your real life persona very separate, which is what I like about it. But out here in LA, I get so much pushback. People are constantly saying, "Can you just not wear the mask?" Even at Lucha Girls, they were concerned that nobody would want to have matches with me because they can't see my face. And I still get asked all the time, "Well, why do you wear a mask? Why do you wear a mask?" And it's kind of hard for me to understand why it bothers people and why they don't like it, because I love it. I love yeah, like the mystery of it and the fact that they transform into something larger than life. So when I started wrestling, I always knew that I wanted to be a masked wrestler. And I had a very different character idea in mind originally. The character was more of a humorous character. But as I was training and working, Vulcana kind of came to me, and she kind of appeared herself. And I've slowly been making my gear kind of match who she is and what that character is. So for me, it has been difficult. I'm finally starting to get to the point in LA where people aren't questioning it. But yeah, it's weirdly difficult.
That's a nice way of putting it. Really difficult. I guess that's part of wearing a mask. That's the mystique about it. Like what do you look like? How do you go through that?
hmm
People are just curious, and I guess that's understandable. But I guess what people gotta understand, like, the character behind it, and people just it's just something about having the mask take off doing the show or whatever, and that's, I don't know. And when I was young, I was like, oh man, look at these people with these masks. I didn't call them weird or anything. They were just cool. It was just,
Right.
it was pretty awesome. And as I got older, I started to learn more about it and just understand it, and like respect, and more importantly, respect the privacy. You know.
Right, and that's the hardest part. Respect privacy, and it's almost made me quit a couple of times because I also don't feel like people. I don't know. I guess as a fan, I grew up as a fan of wrestling. So for me, yes, I was curious what people look like, but it never occurred to me to like stalk them or try to find out who they are or try to show up early so I could I didn't really want that mystery ruined for me. And wrestling fans nowadays complain that kayfabe is dead, but like they're kind of the ones who killed it.
Yeah, wrestling Twitter can get out of hand a lot.
Definitely.
It's been getting a lot of hand this for the past week for obvious reasons.
It's been kind of crazy on there.
So, and I just read it and I'm just like, I'm just going to mute people and just maybe mute some. And, that's probably one of the good things about social media, especially Twitter. You can mute a word or words, or you can mute a whole person and just not having to deal with that nonsense. But I guess maybe it's the passion. Like, they want to see wrestling be good or great, but we got to understand, all these competitors, they're human, and they going to do what they can. Like, they put their heart and soul. They want to be just as good as anybody else. And when one mistake happens, people want to go on Twitter and complain. It's just too much of that, and I think that's just getting out of hand, and I don't know what to think of it. As a fellow fan myself, just out of control. People just need to chill out.
Yeah, I think some people take things way more seriously than they should. Almost everything is an attack on someone, whereas sometimes it's just to be funny or, to poke fun at something. And especially amongst wrestlers, it's very common to tease each other. And somehow it doesn't translate very well on Twitter when wrestlers are saying things to each other. They know what they mean, but fans kind of seem to jump in and decide their own, what they think it means. And then it blows up and it gets out of hand. And I agree with you. I don't like to see all the negativity. Wrestling is something I love. It's something that every fan supposedly loves, so let's love it and be positive.
Yeah, and I keep seeing the same meme, like promote what you love and don't bash what you hate. And it feels like not everybody's following that suit. So until that happens, we're gonna keep seeing the negativity, and it's just gonna get to the point that people ain't gonna love wrestling anymore. There's just so much wrestling on TV than ever before. There's more women wrestling than ever before, and let's just uplift people instead of putting them down. That's just me.
I agree.
So a little bit earlier, I mentioned Lucha Girls. You and with Jezebel, you are the first the first female masked wrestler that was part of Lucha Girls. How did you end up there? And did you were you up for it, or did Jezebel reach out to you?
I can't really remember who reached out to who first, but I actually made my debut pretty much on Lucha Girls. It was either my first match or my second match. I can't remember now. But, Jezebel's always scouting for new talent, and when she saw my confidence in the ring, I think she knew I had something special that eventually I discovered for myself as well. So I worked with her a bit, and like I said, originally she wasn't so sure about the mask either. But I won her over, and now she loves the mask too.
Well, thank you, Jezebel, for giving this woman A chance. Give her a chance. That's all you need. One opportunity, one shot,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
that just and for the most part, that's what it takes. Uh, so as far as competitors, wrestlers in general, who out there um you would like to have a match against? Or it could be more than one person. Who are some of your favorite, some dream matches you would like to have against anyone? It could be in the pros or the indies, custom, whatever the case may be. Who do you like to go up against one day?
I get asked this question a lot, and I wonder if I'm so selfish, and that's why I never really have a good answer to this, because I don't want the spotlight on anybody else but me. So I would rather tell you people I would like to tag with.
Okay.
I would really, Juventud Guerrero is still wrestling. I would really, really love to tag with him. There's a local guy in SoCal. His name is Super Beetle, and I have worked with him before, and I love his energy, and I love his passion for wrestling, and I'd really like to tag with him someday. And then there's also another local wrestler that I think she's going to be in the WWE very soon, and her name is Simone Cherie. And I would love to do some tag team stuff with Simone.
Simone Cherie. I think I'm familiar with that name. I may have seen her name here and there, so I think I know what you're talking about with her. She definitely has some good upside. She definitely got the potential for sure. Um, so do you have any upcoming shows, upcoming events that you're going to be a part of?
Yes, I will be at Bumps and Bruises this Saturday, so I think 2 days from now. And that's in Hawthorne, California at the LA Ale Works. And it's going to be a really great show because I did their last show there, and it was so much fun. Just a really great atmosphere and a great audience.
And before I let you go, where can people go on social media to keep in touch with you as far as upcoming events and things like that? So go ahead and promote your social media links.
Sure. The best places to find me are on Twitter and Instagram. I'm Vulcana Wrestler and Vulcana Wrestles. And Vulcana is spelled Vulcana. Some people misspell it with the O, and then they can't find me. So Vulcana is the name, Vulcana Wrestles. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. I do have a Facebook, but I'm not active. So if you actually want to talk to me, don't reach out there.
Fair enough. So A at the end, not the O, the A. Go.
Yes.
So she's on Twitter and Instagram. Go check out those links. Support this lady. Support indie pro wrestling. Support your indie shows, local indie shows out there. And it was great chatting with you. Thank you so much for your time. Continued success. And thanks again.